when I was in my previous job, a senior leader at the organization came to me and said, "You could totally pass for native. So could you just put some
What?
braids in your hair and go do that?"
Oh,
And I was like, "Yeah, no. No."
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a few uncomfortable questions. You ready?
I am both terrified and very excited about this process. I think it's a fine place to be.
Do you remember your first Minnesota microaggression?
Oh, yeah. One of my first classes in high school, the teacher stumbled over my name and then said to the whole class, I don't know if you'll do well here because I'm not experienced in teaching minorities. And so that was my introduction to Minnesota.
Okay, so you're not from Minnesota. Where are you from originally?
I was born in Ohio, which is a question I get all the time of where I'm from and how great my English is. I just got it the other day again, which is so funny because there's so many microaggressions 101 things. Like, don't say that. So it's really amazing to me that that still happens all the time.
Okay, so what happened? Can you tell me that story?
So it's the worst possible situation. I was at a hospital getting a biopsy done.
Oh, no.
Everything is fine. Maybe that's the most important part of the story. Everything's fine, but you have to be awake for it, and they stick a needle in your neck. So I was nervous anyway. The radiologist who's going to do the biopsy came in, and he said, "That's a funny name." And at first, it honestly didn't register for me. I was like, what? The name of a tool, or what are we talking about? And he said, "Yeah, your name. It's really funny. Where's that from?" And I said, "Oh, I'm Middle Eastern. My family's from Lebanon." And he said, "Oh, but you don't have an accent. It's really good. The way you speak is really good." And I said, "Yep," because I'm thinking he's about to put a needle in my neck. So, like, go ahead, man. Be as racist as possible. Just please
do your job. Yeah.
And so the nurse that was there after he left, she said, "I'm so sorry. That shouldn't have happened. He's not the most sensitive guy." And then she said, "And I want you to know that my name is Karen. So tell all your friends that not all Karens are bad." I was like, again, I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. I just want to get a biopsy and I want to get out of here.
Okay, so would you go back there and get poked by the same guy for another biopsy?
Oh, totally, because he was really good at it. Because I had a botched biopsy, and that's why I had to go to this person because he was so good at them. So totally I go to microaggression land one more time to have a really good biopsy because these are the sorts of choices that we make all the time, right?
Okay, so props to Karen for standing up for herself and maybe trying to explain what happened, but I'm curious, being a mom, do you feel like having gone through these experiences gives you a little bit of a heads up of how to coach your kids in dealing with it?
We did to an extent, but it was so painful to watch those things happen to them in a way that I wasn't fully prepared for. My son's name is Mohammed, and he's been made fun of his whole life, called a terrorist, had things thrown at him, had teachers be really terrible to him. It's interesting watching my daughter because people just feel sorry for her and they think that he's terrible. It really follows those tropes around Muslim men and women. Being Arab, being Muslim, and living all over the country, you just see so many different forms of racism and Islamophobia. And I'm from a group that's not counted in a lot of things. So you get all the downsides, but none of the benefits of having data on how you're doing or scholarships, or you're just not even counted as a person of color for Middle Eastern populations. And
wait, what? What category do you fit into?
They put us in white.
Oh, shoot, really?
Yeah, so for 30 years, there's been a huge lobby to change the census and to have us have our own category. It's been shot down multiple times. And so what organizations do is they just make it its own category and count it as people of color because that is our experience. But technically, we don't count.
واسع للأبطال.
When stuff like that happens to me, I sometimes try to explain it away and almost excuse the aggressor.
I mean, I think that I tolerate a lot. Do I think that that specific doctor is going to change his way of being? No. He told me he was also the best doctor in Minnesota, so I think that there are other issues there. I think he really, really liked himself. But he was very good at doing biopsies, I'll give him that.
اللي يكح ابعت له الميكانيكي يجي يصلح الموتور، وقف لي يا ابني الناس يصفوا كله ياخد دور.